Oh, we are live. What is up, everybody? Welcome to an episode of the Fit Parent Project. Today, on this episode, we're just diving into it because I'm joined by one badass person, and her name is Ellie. She's one of my clients. She's been an amazing client to work with. She's made some incredible progress. If you didn't see from the title of this episode, and we're just gonna dive into it and chat with her about her goals, her journey, and just kind of like hopefully inspire some people to see what's possible for themselves. Ellie's also already warned me that she has a dry sense of humor, so I'm excited to see how that goes down. And she also said that she's a little nervous, but that she's always nervous. So I think that's the kind of energy we want to bring to this shit. So say hello, Ellie. Say how's it going?
Hello. I didn't know the name of this podcast title, so that's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blind a little bit. Happy to be here though and answer any questions and show people what it's like to live complete chaos and still move forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I was even joking like when we were getting this episode like set up and getting everything ready, uh, about how, being on the Hot Mess Express is totally fine. Cause like, I feel like the majority of people that have been on this podcast in the same kind of boat. Cause I mean, not only is it just like, that's just parent life in a lot of ways, but you're not only a parent, but you're also an entrepreneur and busy AF. So, I think you said like you have like a full, like a day pass or like what'd you say?
A membership to that express.
Yeah.
It's around here somewhere, but I have a membership.
Yeah. Cool. So we'll dive into this, and chat about her journey, just because I feel like there's a lot to be taken away from it, a lot to be inspired by. Just because if you're listening to this episode and you don't know anything about Ellie, and her journey, like this is you're gonna get a lot out of it, because I did a post like I think earlier this week or last week that just kind of showcased what she's accomplished, despite again being on the Hot Mess Express and things being chaotic and all of that. And it's pretty awesome, and I think it really helps normalize, and helps other people realize like, oh shit, like I can do this too. I can make progress and reach my goals even if I've got all these things going on. And so yeah, just let's share a little bit about that. Like, what motivated you to start initially, like when it came to starting this journey of yours?
Well, I had written down different paragraphs of exactly how to answer that question, because it's like, well, how far back do you want me to go?
Yeah.
Like, technically speaking, I always considered myself to be super into fitness. I thought like, oh, out of one of the careers, maybe I'll be a personal trainer one day. Like, that's how into it I always was. I was always on it. And then I got really sick 8 years ago, and then my body just didn't do anything like it was supposed to do anymore. And it felt like every month the scale just kept going up, even though that I knew I was supposed to do. And I even got pretty low where it was like, let's just try a few eating disorders, like let's like trigger warning. And then we're just gonna do all the things. I just felt like that crappy. And back like this year, like last 12 months, I've had 3 kinds of cancer, and lucky enough to say that I actually lived through all 3, and the treatment actually worked, which is wonderful. Not all of this hair is mine. We're just really gonna pretend. But either way, and it just kind of had me really thinking back, because that's actually why I started this journey with prechtelevate. Was because last summer, just another diagnosis of like, oh, cool, so I could be dead in like a few months. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm leaving all my children, and I'm the only income, and this is okay. And I'm also aware that things like obesity or like all of those things come with disease, and like they're more prone to anyway.
Yep.
you can get them at any size. So I felt like I was getting more and more and more as my weight went up. I
Yep.
was getting more unhealthy diagnoses. And
Yeah. Yeah. It can really snowball, and it can really
yeah,
build upon itself in a lot of ways. Studies have shown, obesity and being overweight increases your rate of all-cause mortality across the board with, things like cancer, things like heart disease or stroke, all of that. And so it's just like,
parts.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, things like that. And so it really just had me kind of rethinking and was like, who was I before? And I wanted to be that person again. And I really had kind of given up on them. I was just in the grind of trying to provide for the family.
mm-hmm.
And also kind of realized that it's my life too. And
Yeah.
I cannot trade this body in. There is no trade-in option. It's just
Yeah.
this. So I, one of my friends had worked for you for a season,
Mm-hmm.
and she had posted it. And funny enough, you have the same last name as my grandparent, my grandmother, who I named my entire business after.
Really?
Yeah. And I went, well, sure, let's give that a go.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. What's her name, by the way? Just curious.
Louise Prechtel. So
That's
yeah,
so weird.
I just
It's
thought it was pretty great. And I
our
went,
last names. The last name is very. I'm writing it down. It's because there's like, I think there's only like 800 people in the U.S. that have that last name, and
yep.
it's a very small.
And it was the same month that I opened my business that
Wow.
I found you, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm not like superstitious or anything, but I went, a good sign's a good sign.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of went with her and learned a few things from her that her information that I had never tried before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like, so I technically kind of started with you just
Mm-hmm.
because of the fact of like desperation, like maybe if I just get a little bit of me back, things will feel better.
Yeah.
And then I started learning information that was like, oh my God, the world doesn't know this stuff. Nobody knows this stuff. He's literally putting out for free on Spotify. Just listen to the fucking podcast. There's so much information, and it's literally to help you.
Yeah.
And suddenly became very like evangelical for you. They have to listen. I was like, no, stop it. Get off, go away from your keto and your paleo. No. You have Austin, okay? Like it ended up just becoming this thing of like, even if I didn't follow the program perfectly, the knowledge completely changed the lifestyle itself. Yeah, and then I tried to make everybody do it.
Yeah, oh, that's crazy. That is so cool to hear, and just hear your perspective on that. And just like, it's true though. I mean, it's definitely getting better, and it's not as much of like the wild wild west as it was before, with information. But there's still just so much BS and like almost and like tribalism amongst like different fad diets and stuff. And it's just like it can be a lot, and it can be very difficult to find like the nuggets amongst the sea of like bullshit that's out there. Yeah, and so I that's awesome. And so for you, as far as like, what we've been able to accomplish so far, what do you what would you say has been like the biggest areas in your journey that you've seen progress in?
Well, one, like I said, tried every fad diet, did like the medications, I've done all the things. And no matter what I did, I never got the scale to go down under a certain number. Like, could never get it. Like, I mess up one meal slightly, like just slightly, and I was totally fucked, and I had to start all over, it felt like.
Yeah.
Nothing was like sustainable. I would try it for like 3 months, and I'm like, okay, we're going. And then my body is just crashing. It's like, it is rebelling so hard. It is not natural. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was, no, this is not the right way.
Yeah.
And so the big thing that I got from this was the fact that the scale itself, the number actually went lower, but it didn't immediately shoot back up.
Yeah.
Like I didn't lose 20 pounds to gain 30.
Yeah.
That was really weird. Like it just kept steadily, it just keeps going down.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't go down, it's like, okay, well, I eat like some sodium, or I worked out, my muscles are probably like a little swole today, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, give it a minute, it's fine. Whatever. So the biggest part of it isn't just like the weight loss itself, but the fact that it's consistent.
Yeah.
And that, I mean this in the nicest way, but I don't need you.
Yeah.
Like, you've given me all of these tools, and if these tools, I will be okay.
Yep.
I'm locked into some program or to something that I have to do for the rest of my life.
Yep.
It's more so, it is quite literally a coaching relationship versus this dependent, like, oh, well, I need to order more of this product or whatever. Otherwise, I'm going to gain all my weight back.
Yep.
And so it's not just the numbers on the scale. It's the fact that I'm getting information that I can continue with.
Yep.
And not immediately lose it all overnight because it's knowledge-based versus a program-based.
Yeah, no, I love that you said that because I mean, and I tell people whenever like I'm trying to like pitch them on joining is just like, hey, like I mean, my goal, like I don't want it, it's counterintuitive. I don't want you to need me for the rest of your life. One day, I want baby bird to be able to leave the nest if it wants to. Like, and that's one of those things where and I've got clients that I've been working with for years now who like they know what they're doing and they've reached their goals and we've set new goals to achieve and things like that. And that's, that can always be part of it to some degree, but it's also just like, there's that, like some people really like the community and they love being a part of the community. They love the accountability factor to some degree, and that's fine. And I will always support those individuals. I'm never going to kick anybody out or anything like that. But like, it is one of those things, like if I've had, plenty of other people that I've worked with in the past that are like, they hit their goal, they got the knowledge and they're like, cool, sweet, peace. And I'm like, sweet, mission accomplished. Have fun. Let me know if you hit a low point or something bad happens and you need help again. But bye. Like,
Still need.
What was that?
Still need you though. Don't quit.
Yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, but I was gonna say too. I mean, like, sorry, what?
Don't leave me, Austin.
No, yeah. And so, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like that's something that I really pride our program on is exactly what you said. Because like if you go to like any of these fad diets or any of these like people that are selling supplements or shakes or all these other things, it's like they work, quote unquote, very temporarily, and while you're doing it, and then eventually it's unsustainable, so people quit and they gain all the weight back and they're like, ugh, like fuck, that sucks. And then they're like, when was the last time? And then they think back, they finally get a little bit of motivation again, and they're like, well, what happened last time? Like the only time I ever lost weight was when I was doing that stuff. Yes. Even though you're like in this like terrible, like it's like a toxic relationship with a fad diet that like you're just like, well, I remember and then they do it again and then rinse and repeat, and they spend a ton of money and time and energy and their sanity on this thing that isn't built for them for them to last indefinitely. It's not made to like help them long term. It's made to like help them short term. They can't do it, they quit, screws them over, and then they try it again. And that's how like a lot of these supplement things and whatever pyramid schemes and stuff that are out there are. But then even like big box gyms and commercial gyms and things like that, like they, there are some good gyms out there that are typically more like privately owned and smaller and things like that, like where the people know their shit and they will help you. But even a lot of times with those, it's very workout oriented. It's not nutrition oriented, or I want to mentor you and teach you what I know oriented. And so, because a lot of big box gyms, they don't typically hire personal trainers. They hire salesmen and then get them certified because that's all that's all I care about. They just want to make money. And some people are trainers, but it's one of those things that's like, it's rare to find a workout like a gym program somewhere that is like all encompassing that actually wants to help you like learn enough to where you can go off and do your own thing eventually. Like, and so I think that's something that I really like about what I do. I'm glad that you mentioned that because like it's just the one thing. It's like, well, I mean, I know why they don't do that. It's because they don't want you to have to like, you know, they don't want you to be able to know how to. They'll leave something out, or they leave something to the imagination. Or like, I've got this secret like that you don't have. Like, I've got this information. It's just like I want people. I don't know. I want to make a big impact, and I want you to be able to teach your friends or family or whoever to be able to give them some tips and tricks or bestow that knowledge onto your kids at some point, kind of thing. So they have like they at least have a head start in that area and can make an educated decision at that point whether they want to do it or not, kind of stuff. And so I don't know. That's what I really like about what we do here is it's just like it doesn't feel slimy. Like that's yeah.
And also, in addition to that, it's like you, oh my God, I had a train, like the express. It was over there. Went with it, but I was gonna say that like one, it kind of changes the world because it's not just another sales pitch, but two, it's this mental bandwidth that I get back.
Yeah.
Having to do the loop. Like, we can talk about mental bandwidth in a whole other way, but just the loop of like, okay, when I was going to this gym, they gave me this one program to follow. I ate these meals. It worked great. And then you stop because life got busy and then you're back again. And I got really sick of always feeling like that about myself, where I have to, it's like, oh shit, I let myself go. I've like got to get back on this thing. I've clearly failed. I've clearly failed myself and have to get back to this thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas with this program, I think I fail things every day constantly, and it has made a difference because I continue to keep progressing.
Yeah.
And difference. I'm not trying to play catch up with myself anymore. Yeah. It's part of it.
Yeah, I love it because it's when it becomes a real like lifestyle shift. Like it's like we're no longer on like a diet necessarily, or we're no longer on like a whatever. It's you're just living your life, and and that's okay. Like that's like the more that you try to succeed at things, like the more at bats that you take, the more you're gonna fail. It's just by default part of the process. And like I think for folks to get to the point mindset wise to be able to accept like, okay, failure is part of the process. I welcome failure. It's unavoidable. It's going to happen. I may as well be okay with it and like move forward and just, keep doing my thing. Like, I think that helps a lot. I think that helps a lot of people. Like once they realize that, like it's not just me saying it, or it's not just one person saying, it's like as a community, it's like, like people are internalizing that more. And I think it makes a big difference because it's just like, oh, okay. Like he's just not this crazy guy ranting about like this, like this like mindset thing. Yeah.
You're like, no. We just keep going. That's all it is. You just keep. It's fine.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it too. It's just like that's sustainability, right? It's like it's key. It's like if you want like to make progress that you can maintain long term, like there has to like the program or whatever you want to call it overarchingly, it just needs to be sustainable. And like I feel like the best way of like looking at it is just like you're just living your life under new with new knowledge and like new terms for yourself that that you pivot along the way. But it's just you hit a spot on though with
it. Food no matter what, right?
Yep, exactly. Cool. So for you, as far as like you mentioned bandwidth and as far as like the loop and things like that, but like and kind of going into that other direction that you were mentioning, like how important do you feel like mindset and like mental health has been for your journey? Like what do you think has helped you like maintain a more positive mindset throughout this? Because I know that was definitely something that like I mean we've seen pretty big difference from even when we first started to now.
Yeah, I felt like I had a pretty good mindset too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and like circle back because like the ADD brain, technically started with your program like last summer, but I actually like the way that I mark it is actually January because that's like when I switched to working with you and was we're gonna go balls to the walls here. Like I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna put all the things in, and we're just gonna fucking do this. Like, I've gotten like a taste of what could be, and then it was like recommended to me that you would be a good trainer for my personality style.
Oh yeah.
So just to say, also the fact that like it's really been a while that I've been with you, but not really. It can kind of come in waves sometimes. But mental mindset stuff. So I'm like, my mindset back from last summer to like this January, very different. And I thought that I was pretty good. So, I can't wait for 6 months from now where I'm like, wow, can you believe what I thought?
Yeah, and it's crazy because like a lot of times, like the difference, like there's a quote that I really like. It's like we overestimate what we can accomplish in a day, but we underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. It's just like our minds are always. I mean, if we choose to allow them by taking in new information and working on it, like our minds are very like malleable and adaptive and are constantly growing. And I feel like a lot of times the people that get stuck in their bullshit in a lot of ways, or they get stuck in where they're at and they're not making progress either with their mindset or their body. And a lot of times the two are very intertwined. Like, when we're getting our mindset in a good spot, it's way easier to get your body in a good spot. And so it's just one of those things like where if we're able to, I feel like a lot of times like a big part of why people are stuck in their journey for their health and fitness is because they aren't like working on growing up here, and it's that stagnation that causes this to also stagnate. And so I think and even like in your business owner too, it's just like whenever I'm on like not on fire in a bad way, but when things are like we're cooking and we're in momentum, it's just like it's when I'm like absorbing new information and I'm getting new ideas and I'm taking ideas from other, smart people that are doing stuff that's similar, and like I'm like downloading it into my brain and like giving my own twist to it. And like that same thing goes for like health and fitness goals and information. It's just like, people like I worked with hundreds of people, and like every person like kind of like takes the info I give them and kind of uses like their own kind of like approach for their life and their like because we're all individuals, we're all in like we have parallels, like a lot of people we work with their parents, like but like some people have one kid, some people have multiple kids, some people have kids that have special needs, and it's just like but they can take that same information and apply it to their life in the way that like works for them the most. And I think that's like a really like strong point for what we do is just like the program is just so adaptive. Like I feel like that's for you that was a big thing. Like you're like oh like I'm busy as hell. I'm getting my workouts in. It's just not happening on the day, but I'm getting it in, and you can still feel good about that. You don't feel like you're like you missed out or you screwed up or whatever. And I think that's big.
Yeah, so I actually have a few things that I say to myself that have actually changed a huge thing in my mindset. I wrote down a few of them so that I would actually remember.
Let's hear
it. Okay, so one. So there are some days where like a workout sucks and you'd rather literally saw off your hand than do it. And I in general really like out, and there are days that I'd like to just put the gym on fire. I'm like, I'd rather die in a hole, anything else, like any other horrible thing I'd rather do than do this stupid 30-minute thing. Even though it's like, and I relate that to my business, and then I also relate to my marriage and to my friends or to my kids. And there are just some things that we just really, really don't want to do in our day. And we do it for them.
Yep.
We anyway, even though it super sucks.
Yep.
But we're not doing it for us. And I just kind of had to think about that internally and go, like, at the end of the day, no one's going to take care of me like I could take care of me.
Yep.
And if I'm willing to give out this much to them, I also need to give myself that same amount of effort. Like
Yep.
I that amount of effort too. And I didn't want my, like, let's say it's like my kids, I don't want them growing up with the martyrdom mindset of like, oh, my mom literally worked herself to, like,
Yeah.
I wanted them to make sure that, like, I wanted to make sure that they also knew that you pour out into others, but you also have to refill too.
So
So that's
true.
things like, and it's not just one workout that sucks. Sometimes it's weeks of them that I literally hate my life.
Yeah.
But we still do it in the same way that we still pay the stupid mortgage when we hate it. We still pay stupid things that we hate. And
That's true. That's so funny.
that's what we're going to do, people.
Yeah.
Another one is that, okay. Yeah, did that one. Did that one. Did that one.
So efficient.
Like you're never gonna like if I skip this workout or whatever, it's not that it's gonna be like a, oh man, I failed or whatever, but at the end of the month, if I got in one more workout than I did last month, I have already started succeeding.
Yep.
If I lost 1 pound a month for a whole year, I'd be 12 pounds down.
Yep.
Like just one
Yep.
percent. That's it. That's all I need. And so one of the things that's really gotten me through when it comes to working out is just, if I just get this one stupid workout in, even if I miss the rest of the week, that is one when I want to do one of them.
Yep.
And usually that one in general is enough to actually start snowballing the better things again.
Yep.
And then with nutrition, one thing that I really like kind of adapted is the fact that I have to tell myself all the time, I need to feed my body and then my mind.
Mm-hmm.
They're two different things because my mind wants a lot of comfort. It wants easy. It wants, it associates all of these other things with food, but my body needs these things even if my mind doesn't.
Yep.
So I like, like plug your nose, swallow it, like get the medicine over with.
Yeah.
Like the amount of things that I just chug to get it over with.
Mm.
But like, and now I'm actually like cool with it. I'm actually like, oh, I love that shake. And my husband takes a sip and is like, this is poison.
It's so funny. But it's just like you kind of like, you adapt to it. You get used to certain things that were foreign at the beginning and that now feel like, it's the norm. It's your new normal. And I think that a lot of people too, the reason why they struggle a lot is like being impatient in general with results and things like that, but also just being impatient with themselves. Like they don't even give themselves a chance to actually get used to things. Like they try it once. They're like, oh, fucked up. It's not for me. I suck at nutrition. It's like, really? Like, but then I always like to use the analogies like, okay, well, like, what are you good at right now? Like, are you good at guitar or painting or what, or singing or what? Like, okay, like, were you fucking amazing at that the first time that you did that? Probably not. You probably were terrible. You probably couldn't do anything. Like, and then they're like, then that kind of helps like seed that like, oh, this is a skill. Like this is something that I practice and get better at. It's not like something that people are just inherently like good at instantly. Like, like I sucked at my nutrition at the beginning. I sucked at working out. I was terrible. I was super scrawny and weak and couldn't do, like, it was like horrible. Like I was probably like one of the weakest out of my friends, like almost certainly. And now it's like, I've been doing it for 14, 15 years now. And it's just like, now I'm way better than all of them at it because they quit and I didn't. So
Yeah.
What was that? Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, like get that gold star. Like that's yours.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any other little things before I ask you my next question?
My last big thing would be that it's like, okay, I think I'm probably, like you said, it was very nice that you were like, oh, she's a great client. No, I'm not. I'm a terrible client. I hardly ever actually track my food because I totally forget, and then like just things are just kind of crazy like that. But what I figured out was for myself, I know my numbers. I know them like I know my business numbers. I know them. I know my bills at the end of every month. I know my freaking numbers, and I just make sure I meet my numbers, even if I didn't log it. But I logged it enough times that I know exactly if I eat these things every day, I will be okay. I will meet them at like 80 to 90%, and I can fill in, and it's fine. So just, I would say, like, knowing your numbers and figuring out some simple things that you can just grab when you are on the floor crying because you're really depressed.
Yeah.
If you're like me, whatever. But like just having those things so you don't have to think about it, and then also last other thing would be if something's not working, then try something different. Like I didn't get any of my workouts in. Maybe I would get like 2 a month for the first 4 months. And it was like, and I was trying to like save money because like, I mean, you're expensive in a good way. Like, like you have this value to you, and I want that value. And I'm like, okay, I'll cut costs here. I won't have the gym membership. I'll just do it at home. But what for me was that I didn't do it. I had too many other things. And so what it actually looked like was, okay, well, I'm not actually getting all that I need out of this. And I am like, if I actually want this to be my reality, then it's better to just put all my money into this one thing right now and just pay the extra $40 a month to go get a gym membership again. I can get all the information out of this, and so that I actually see what it feels like for it to actually work for just a week. Just one time. And that was a huge thing. So like if it's not working, try something different. Like get or maybe it's quit the membership and do it at home if that means you actually get to do it. Figure out the thing that's actually going to work, but don't sit in it for 6 months or 4 months or whatever thinking like one time it's going to work. No.
You gotta be adaptive, and you gotta be like, sometimes that uncomfortable thing is investing in something, or it's shifting your environment, or it's, I feel like a lot of times, like, again, like, like you said, like people can get like stuck, like they can get stuck trying to, and that's a lot of times that's why people get stuck in the first place in other things too, like in fad diets or whatever. They're like, they keep trying to do the same thing, expecting a different result. And it's just like, well, why would anything change if you're not changing anything and you're
change something, or ask a trainer what you could change.
And then the other thing too is like, I mean, like you said, like, just like putting the money in, like into the gym membership. It's just like, it's like, that's an investment in the now that may seem like it's something that is, is almost like you're debating in your head, like, is this going to be worth it? Should I do this? But then it's like, if you just go all in on it, it's like, it's going to pay off in dividends and then some later down the line. I mean, that's, and you only get one freaking body, man. Like you said, you can't trade this shit in. Like,
thousands of dollars on all the other fad diets. It's better let's just spend the money on this right now, get the actual results, like figure out exactly how to do it, and call it like you don't have to zero again. Like, just do it.
Agreed. And it's one of those things, and that's, and there'll always be a place for some of those like kind of cookie cutter programs and things like that. And like just because some people literally like, like they are so in the negative, like money wise, finance wise, like they can't, like it's like their only option. It's like I see that, and like I don't want to like ignore that's a thing. But also it's one of those things where you get what you pay for to some degree. Like you can pay a premium and go to a phenomenal tattoo artist and get the best tattoo in the world that you're going to love for the rest of your life, or you can give somebody a 6-pack of beer at a gas station and they can do it in their garage for you, and you're going to get like Hep C or something and regret it, like and it's going to look horrible, like it's somebody's face melting off or some shit. Like you don't want that. Like, and so like that's how I like to view it too, is just like, if you can, right, if you're in a place to be, even if it's a stretch, right, that stretch will be above and beyond worth it if you take advantage of it and you believe in yourself enough to be able to bet on yourself in that sense, to be like, because I remember when we were talking, I was like, yeah, let's, at the beginning, I was like, yeah, let's, let's do, like 16 weeks or whatever kind of thing. And I've got these other options, but, we, don't, maybe we don't. And you were like, I don't even remember exact words, but it was just like, fuck you, I'm doing the year. Like, may as well go all in. Like, that kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, she's going in.
Yeah. I was like, I want my life to change. I don't want your 16 thing. I've done the 16 weeks. I've done all of. I am so locked in that I panic every month when I see that number come out of my account, and I have to there. It's like a constant, not in necessarily like a bad way.
Yeah.
Of like, no, I'm locked in for a fucking year.
Yeah.
Not quit at the last 3 weeks of it and be like, it's okay, like whatever, I lose 3 weeks. No. I'm not willing to lose 6 months. Hell no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Birth of this program, if I signed on like this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. And I mean, and the other thing, like, people who pay attention. It is what it is. Like, I mean, that's why I invest in a business mentor. Like, that's why I hire, like, that's why I've shelled out tens of that, like a lot of fucking money to business mentors, because like I believe in investing myself. I want new information, and I also know that if I pay for something, I'm gonna pay attention to it, because I'm not gonna because money is just like, it's an abstract form of our time and effort and the year, like our life force, in a sense. Like, you give up some of your life to make some money so you can buy things. And so it's just one of those things. Like, I feel like I would rather pay the premium to get the best, so I know I'm good long term, than to like I want to, like, this is a weird analogy because like the health and fitness, but you can have it because it's flexible dieting. But I'm fucking Coca-Cola over here, and you can go get your, like, doctor, like, whatever, like your what, I don't even know, like fucking RC or some shit, or like Dollar General cola, like, if you want, but you're gonna get Dollar General cola results or flavor or whatever. And if you're okay with that, like, that's fine. But like, that might be part of the reason why you're not seeing the results that you want to see, because you're getting like half-ass information, or programming, or the coach never pays attention to you or talks to you or tries to help you or adapt, or you have to chase them down to like get a program update. It's just like, no, like that should not be how it is. But it is the case for a lot of people, unfortunately. And I think that's a big part of why, like, they just like it's not the person that's broken either. It's the plan that they're trying to follow that's broken to begin with. And I feel like if people knew that they're not broken or messed up, or they're, they don't suck, like, they would feel better about trying again. So yeah. Cool. So let's see. Also, I want to respect your time. About how much more time do you feel like you got to keep talking?
So technically I have roughly 3 hours. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say like -5 minutes or something. I'm like, oh shit. No,
like,
okay, we're good. That's funny.
I'm not gonna do that though. You guys are safe. Like,
yeah. So for as far as like finding, so like let's talk like to the person now that like could be struggling to finding like the right balance of between their diet and their exercise. Like, for you, what do you feel like has kind of been that approach for you, like, that has helped you find that, like I mean, I'm of the belief that like true balance doesn't actually exist, and we're always going to be kind of like teetering in one direction or the other. Like, we're just, that's life. But for you, like, what do you feel like is like, helped you find that, like, quote unquote balance?
Well, I did teeter a lot, and I did some of the live question answer things, and I figured out a lot of information, honestly, just from doing those.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't even understand, like, okay, should I hit my numbers in this way, or should I hit them in this way? What's better? Should, like I didn't really even know, like, is it better for me to just eat as much protein as I'm supposed to if I'm 2,000 calories over? Is that fine? Like, I had no idea when it came to, because I was trying to have like a blank slate mindset, like, let me see what's up.
Yeah.
And so my balance looks like finding, okay, kind of doing a minimalistic approach to food because you can spend so much money on it.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of gotten it very, very like down to just a few. I don't do any more than like 3 flavors of like anything.
Yeah.
And so it's like chomp sticks, the protein oikios yogurt,
Mm-hmm.
not the like low sugar one. It has a weird taste. No, it's
Yeah.
yucky. Protein one. It's more expensive by like a little, but it's better. And
Yeah.
you get 5 more grams of protein.
Yeah.
So, like there's a isopure powder in this one flavor, and if I mix that with Panera's lemonade,
Mm.
still meets the 10-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
So I get 30 grams of protein, and my drink is 260 calories. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh. It tastes like the same.
Yeah.
Like I just kind of figured out a few like minimal things that I could literally like throw in my bag, and in just throwing something in my bag, I know I had 100 grams of protein and or whatever, like
Yeah.
the balance came from find protein first,
Yep.
fill in everything else so much easier.
Yeah.
So much easier to eat a bag of Cheez-Its at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, oh, I'm so hungry. Let me grab myself like this, 16-ounce freaking steak.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good, but I will absolutely eat a bag of those Cheez-Its.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of it too, with it
Yeah.
being flexible and adaptive. It's like you can have those things.
Yeah.
And,
No.
and it's not like, especially if somebody's goals are, getting more lifestyle, it's not like, and I have some clients who are like, I want to step on stage or something one day. And it's like, that's cool. I love that and I support that. But not everybody wants that. And some people just want to be healthier and like be able to like, move more efficiently without being in pain and have more energy and, be fit and healthy. But it'd be like more of like that, just kind of like, like if they realize that you can have those things and you don't have to just eat chicken and rice every day, like it just, I feel like more people would want to do it, but they have this like screwed up, like weird, and it's not weird, but it's just like, but it's just this unsustainable idea of what a health and fitness journey has to look like, quote unquote, like because they've just been brainwashed by social media and the health and fitness industry of like the 2000s and 20 teens and the 90s of like, this is what it has to look like. You've got to fucking starve yourself and only eat chicken and and lick an apple and that's your, and like huff an almond, like that's all you can do, and like like that's like, and no wonder people don't want to do it, or they feel like it's going to be like it's going to suck, because like, yeah, that would suck if you had to do that, but you don't.
No. Yeah. I just figured out how to get the first 100 grams of protein for me is the hardest. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of make up when you got to eat or whatever, and it kind of comes naturally.
Yeah.
First 100 always like totally fucked me over, and I was like, I'm gonna fail this thing. I only have 30 grams at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. And so I figured out a couple little staples for me that were just grab and go things that if I just made sure I had them, it was fine. That I definitely. And then when it came to working out, there were times where I really just didn't have the time. I couldn't. The gym freaking closed because I got off that late from work.
Yeah.
And I did other things instead, like, okay, but I don't want like the muscle to like go away at all. So doing like, it's so stupid, but like doing 30-second plank really quick before bed, it like, I feel like it doesn't do anything. It does nothing.
Yeah.
However, it does make me think about it at least, instead of it being like, okay, well, I just missed.
Yeah.
So whether that was just doing like a few squats, like in the middle of my day, I just did like 20 squats for no freaking reason.
Yeah.
Just to kind of get my brain into the idea that this is who we are now.
Yeah.
It might come like I want it to fit differently, but since I haven't figured it out yet, I am gonna just kind of throw it wherever I can throw it. And then there I did kind of find my balance. I found out basically empty at 9:45 p.m. to 11 p.m. because they close at 11.
Yep.
And so I literally could, like, I'll be off for the day or whatever, and I will leave my house at 9:40 in the freaking evening just so I can go because there's nobody there, and then I feel so much better because I got my whole thing done, and I got a shower, and I got to hydro bed.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
It's not like I missed it on time. I didn't any of the memories, like early in the morning, but I had to figure out like what my time slot looked like, and until I did, it looked kind of like I brought resistance bands with me to the beach, and I was on this like fine.
Yeah. Something's better than nothing. You know, it really is. And it's like that, like you were saying earlier, like, you know, in your mind, that winning that mental game of like, even if I just get one more workout in this month compared to last month, like that's progress. Like I'm making progress. And I think just having that mentality about it's huge because like that's what fucks people over so much. Like with holidays, or we're like, oh my gosh, like I messed up everything, I binge ate, or I drank too much, and now I'm whatever, and they're like roasting themselves over like one day out of like 365, when it's like, how many holidays do people actually celebrate each year? Like how many days of holidays? It's like, it's got to be, I mean, it's sure as fuck less than 180, like, which is half of the year. Like it's like, it's probably less than 30. It's probably less than, to some degree 20. Like it's like, if you can fuck up 20 out of 345 days, like that's still like well, I can't do the fucking math. It's like you're still getting an A, like you're still like, or a B plus or some shit. It's like that's not failing. That's making progress. Like even like it'll be slower, but even if you got a fucking C minus, you're still passing and still making progress. And it's just like, I think just like be like giving yourself like I don't know, having that bigger picture perspective, but also like giving yourself grace in those moments and just like not making a bigger deal out of it than you need to. Again, it's hard to like recondition our mindsets to like think that way at the beginning, but like it does click eventually because you start to become living proof that it's true.
Like I tell people that I basically half-assed the program because in my mind, as being a perfectionist, if I was really doing the program, I'd be logging every single thing the moment that I did it because I actually timed it because I'm a psycho, and I found it's like 2 minutes and 10 seconds per day for me to log my food.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. And I logged every meal. And I still can't figure out how to make that work in my day. Yeah. And that's so stupid. But that's why I call it kind of like I half-ass it in the sense because I'm like, if it was perfect, it'd be these ways.
Yeah.
Perfect didn't need to happen for me to go from a size 16 to a size 8.
Yeah. Boom. That's a freaking quote right there. That's a nugget right there, man. Yeah, no, it's true. And it's one of those things too, like you were saying earlier, there's a point I was going to make too, was like, humans don't eat like really in our day to day, unless you're like a foodie and you're trying a new restaurant every freaking day or week or whatever, like we are creatures of habit. We eat a lot of the same stuff on a regular basis anyways. Like my family, like I could cook a billion different things. Like I'm a pretty decent cook, but like we eat our staples. Like there's probably like 10 meals that, unless I go out on a wild streak or something, like to cook something different, like we eat a lot of the same stuff. And why do I do that? Because it's simple and it's easier to do it that way. And it's also like you get a profile in your head and your mind of what's in certain foods or what I can have and still kind of have that tally in my head of like, okay, like I know how much protein I ate today because I ate these things. I always eat these things. I know what's in them. I know how much protein's in them. I know how many calories are in them. Like, and again, it's that skill set. It's that skill of being able to do that. If you, again, I feel like everybody like has to go through that trial of tracking at least to some degree to like know what's in that stuff. And then once you do, it's like, okay, like, you can like, because tracking and all that, it's really just kind of like it's a stepping stone to transition to what a lot of people want to have at some point, which is just like being able to, what can't I think of the word? Fuck. I can't. Anyway, but flexible dieting is a precursor to intuitive eating. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was like, I didn't even know what a day would look like if I actually met those numbers. Like, you give me these numbers, and I went, what the fuck am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I have to eat an entire rotisserie chicken every day. And, but then that has too much fat. So just fuck me. I guess, like, I already failed.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
the whole thing. Like, you just don't even know. And so I asked you, I was like, what could a day look like? Here's crap that's in my fridge that I like to eat.
Yeah.
Please tell me what I can eat. And then you did, and I literally like ran over to my husband and was like, oh my god, I can eat everything that I want to eat.
Yeah.
Slightly different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can do it. It's all the normal things that we eat in our week. I'm just rearranging them.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I do think the like tracking is super important in the sense that like you have to figure out where you're starting at.
Yeah.
And also like what could you eat in that amount of time, knowing like, okay, no, I could eat all of these things, and it's a possibility, and it's not just like 18 protein shakes. It's things in there.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do only eat protein shakes for a day, but that's just sometimes, and that's only because it's like I literally didn't take a break and I was on my feet all day.
Yeah. I mean, I've had those days too where I'm like, oh, guess it's 150 gram protein shake kind of day, and I'll sit there and I'll have two of them, and it's like full skim milk. There's like 4 scoops of protein in each of them, and I'm like, hey, it's got to be done. I'm gonna get it. It's better than not hitting it at all, and I'll just sit there and like,
Yeah.
Jessica, my wife Jessica, will look at me and she's just like, how are you and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, well, this is what college prepared me for, so I'm just at least that skill kind of came in handy somewhere. So,
I can't starve myself either. Okay. I just have to.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Cool. No, I love that. And then so I think so as far as like plateaus for you, or plateaus or setbacks, or struggles, like having the chaos of life kind of throw a curveball at you here and there, like for you, what were some of those setbacks that you faced, and what helped you as far as like navigating them? What would you tell somebody else that like, regardless of if it's the same struggle or not, like what would you tell them if they're currently at like a low point?
If you're at a low point, one, crying on the floor of your closet is super okay and normal. You like don't bottle it up. It's okay to be overwhelmed and feel freaking low about it. It's super okay. I probably do it once a week, and it's on my check-in days, or on Monday when Austin messages me and I'm like, wow, I totally failed everything. My life is falling apart. Like, I broke down. There's no food in the fridge. My kid is sick. Like, everything's wrong. And Austin's like, I hope you're having a great week. And I'm like, it's fine.
And you're just like screaming into a pillow and like flipping off your phone, just like.
Like, I'm not having a great week, but I really want to have a positive mindset. So let me think. So one, it's super okay to just have like really shitty times, and it's like okay to just cry it out.
Yeah.
It sometimes it's days on end or whatever, but the the actual little community there, even though like in some ways I don't feel like I'm actually like that plugged in because I don't get online as often as other people do.
Yeah.
It is still chiming on my phone all the time, and it's a nice reminder. So I do recommend turning the notification on, even though it's really annoying and it pings all the time, because it makes you think about it, of the fact that like, you know what, like other people have really shitty times too. You're not alone in it. Like, it's okay. Like, just knowing that that group is still existing. It's not just something on the back burner. It is live. It's happening. You're taking a breather for a second or whatever's happening. But like, struggle wise or plateau wise, you think none of them's gone through it.
Yeah.
That is still happening. And even if you're low.
Yep.
So that's one. Certain struggles. Okay, we're down to one car right now. Our truck broke down. I did not get pre-approved for the car loan because I started my new business.
Yeah.
Like,
Being a business owner, being a small business kind of, it's fucking rough.
I have 3 businesses, and like I started this last one in January, and it's like it's doing well. Like I'm growing well, but it also takes money to make money and
Yeah.
like that thing. And then they're like, yeah, but girl, like you kind of borrowed a lot for this. So no, you can't have that car loan. So we're just one car, which means how the fuck am I going to get to the gym?
Yeah.
No groceries that I can eat
Yeah.
or whatever. And so I just kind of lean into some of my other thoughts was, you know what, walking's free.
Yeah.
So I don't need a car to do it. I actually paced back and forth in my house until I reached 7,000 steps
Hell yeah.
because I couldn't go to the gym and I have to hit 7,000 steps, like at least that, you know?
Yeah.
So even if like things are just like really crappy or whatever, there is going to be something like
Yeah.
make like 10 things that you feel like you should be getting done, and if you can knock out like 1 or 2 of them, it's really that 1% is better than 0% mindset. Again, it's just figure something out, like cry on the floor for like a minute, and then like get up and then go drink that really nasty protein shake because it was 1%. Like,
Yeah.
and I say that a lot, like nasty protein. Like, actually, there's quite a few that are really yummy. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also always keep some kind of junk food, but it's not junk food.
Yeah.
Blue Bell has a vanilla sugar-free ice cream that you can find at pretty much every Walmart and most Publix, depending where in the country you are. And that one, I can eat like 2 bowls straight, and it fits in my day, like basically no matter what. So having that like comfort food, have like a little comfort food thing there.
Halo Top's great option for. I love Halo Top. Like for me right now, like I don't know if it's just like hyperfixation that I've got right now, but like popsicles. I fuck up some popsicles. Like I probably eat. Oh man, probably at least. It's funny talking about it out loud, but like I'll eat like 4 to 6 popsicles a day right now, just because low calorie, they're filling. It's a sweet treat. It's fucking hot as shit out right now here. It's like 105 here today, and like I'm about it because like and they're relatively affordable. So it's like I'm like you know what, like I'm cool with that. Like if that you know
Yeah,
gotta have that thing. Like if you're like stressing out or whatever, like it's good to have that on site to help.
on-site thing when you're like, I don't want to eat healthy. I hate my life. Everything. My scale's up 6 pounds. I am not trying to like go eat ice cream. Just do it. Whatever. Okay. Like if that's the thing that's actually like what you're actually wanting, and that is actually going to make you feel actually better.
Yeah.
Like watching TV and feeling some of that old comfort for like a second, and then wake back up tomorrow and we get back on.
Yep.
24 hours. Think of it like, okay, today maybe it sucked. Like this last 12 hours of this day sucked. But the first 12 hours of tomorrow is not going to suck.
Yep.
Like, you're going to just kind of like, you know what, we're just going to forget about that part.
Yep.
I'll break down sometimes. And then we're going to kind of go into this one over here, and it's fine.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just yesterday, we did like a coaches roundtable in the private group, and we were like, honestly, I mean, like we almost spent like 45 minutes to an hour like on the live yesterday, and like it was over half of it was us talking about, because somebody was talking about like what do you do if you're like at a low point or you're struggling, or can you guys give some examples of times when you were struggling and how you worked through that, and it was just like, let's share our trauma, or when we got really fucking sick, like that kind of, or like injured, that kind of thing, like just like that's what it was, because like we all, like every coach had multiple examples of what they'd gone through and how they handled it. And it's just like, and the reason for that is because like literally everybody struggles with shit. Everybody goes through low points. Everybody at some point in their life is going to have a family member pass away, or a pet die, or get chronically ill, or get fucking cancer, or whatever. Like it's just like it's something's going to happen, and I think it's naive to think that like this is the last time or the only time that something bad's going to happen to you. And if you can accept that and realize that and be like, oh, okay, like everybody else that's been successful with their health and fitness also has shitty parts of their life that happen to them. If they've been able to do it, I also have shitty parts of my life. I can do it too. Like, and I think just having that like open and honest conversation that's a thing and that exists, and like everybody goes, because like so many people on social media, they only show you the good parts of their life and the window of like what they want you to see, and then you feel like, and I think some of that's ego on their part, but it's just like then you're like, how can I ever compare to this god of a person that's on this pedestal at the tippity fucking top? Like they're just better than everybody and me, and it's just like no, like I fucking suck too. I've got, I have my vices, and I've got the things that I have that happen to, that have happened to me. And it's just like, I think just being honest about that and transparent about that and just having that realistic expectation coming into it makes a world of difference. Cause then you don't feel like you're like bad at it or like you're wrong or a failure. You're just like, oh, like I'm normal. Like, cool. Like I like feeling like normal in my, in my journey.
Yes. I say there's no such thing as health food. Food is food.
Yeah.
It's just if it's going to be good for me today or if it's not going to be good for me today.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's such a healthier approach, like, and mindset with, and relationship with food. Like, I think that's having that information, like, of how calories and macros and just having all that, like, just knowing that, like, it makes, I don't know. I feel like for me, like, I don't beat myself up as much, or other people don't beat themselves up as much when they have something or they have a treat. Like, they don't have to, like, excommunicate themselves from carbs for the rest of their life. It's like, it's just like, yeah.
Life just keeps going, and like in those low moments, knowing that like, you know what, no, even if I eat this thing that before I thought was super unhealthy was gonna be like, oh, okay, so I'm nothing different. I'm just whatever. There's never gonna be a good time to start this journey.
Yeah.
Never.
No, yeah. Never gonna be ideal. There's always gonna be bullshit.
Always going to be bad days where you ate the entire bag of Butterfingers that your husband brought home for you because he's like, I love you and I know that you love these, and then we're on buy one get one, and I know you're on like a health journey, but I love you, and then you eat the entire thing because you have no self-control. It was 3 bags. No shame, you guys, and we're still down weight. Okay.
Still, since we started working together, still down 30 pounds. Like over there, yeah.
Technically, since last year, 40. With you, 30.
Yeah.
And that scale never went down below like 10 before that. I'm at a weight that I was at 6 years ago ish.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty big. Yeah, struggles and plateaus. Technically, also, I'm in one right now. Just got back from visiting my dad, which was also very traumatic in itself because it just was. Well, not that. I had therapy earlier. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Legit. That's where I came from. And then I am like, my scale was up like 6 pounds, and I was like so like close to the 150s. I was like so close, I could taste it.
Yeah.
Like 166, and I wanted to like I wanted to say bad things to myself. I wanted to be mean to me,
Yeah.
And that was yesterday, and today it's at 161.1. It was like, what? Okay. You know what? Girls are stupid. They're liars. Don't believe them. They're full of shit.
Well, here's the thing too, is like that scenario that you just played out, right? Like you're at a crossroads, stepping on that scale, it being a dick and saying, up 6 pounds. And what typically people do when that happens is they just shit talk themselves into oblivion, and then they fall off the wagon and eat themselves, like, and binge eat, or like they say, what the fuck's the point? And then they quit and they fall, and then they just snowball in the complete opposite direction, which is what happens a lot of times, and that sucks. But then there's the other path in that crossroads that that you took, and because your mindset's in the place now, and you've got the knowledge backing it up and everything like that, where it's just like, okay, like, not gonna make, fuck you, scale, like, go, but I know that this is temporary. I know that this is just a fluctuation. I'm back on my shit tomorrow, and then lo and behold, it's just like, here we are, like, we're within within the 150s again. Like it's
I was
right there.
sweat a lot. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we're just stupid and it's fine. And even if it does plateau for like a minute, it can't stay there forever because that's why you have a coach.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. I was gonna my next question. I've got just a couple more and then I gotta bounce because I gotta go pick up my kid. But so for you, accountability, right? Accountability, having a mentor, having a coach, or having somebody that you can ask questions, or that you know to some degree is like overseen and like and to some degree is like not depending on you, but like there's that like I don't know, the disappointment factor. It's just like I want to I want to show up, I want to do a good job, I want to show that I can do this kind of thing. Like how have you stayed accountable to your goals, or like what role has like support from friends or family, or me or the community, like how has that like helped you in has that made a difference?
Fun fact, my family has not been supportive. It's been exact opposite. My husband's made the journey 10 times harder than it should have been.
Yeah.
He is not willing to actually make the changes that need to happen for himself, even though he really wants them. He's like,
Yeah.
what? And he's still on the loop.
Yeah.
And then he'll come to me and be like, well, this thing, he's like, holy shit, I never thought that you were like a big girl, but then I'm like, Hans, his name's Hans. Cool name, I know. And I'm like, look at these photos. This was me. Did you know that this was me? Because you don't really know. And then, it's not that I feel differently about that person now or anything, but it was like, do you see the progress that's happened? And he's like, but you haven't really changed anything that big. And I'm like, right. And it literally was until like a month ago that he started actually becoming like supportive.
Yeah.
Like leaving like the ground beef out of the whole dish so that I could just weigh it. Can I put it to the side? I'll put it together later. I just have to weigh it.
Yeah.
So accountability wise, like in some regards, it was I've really actually just kind of been kind of alone on this one.
Yeah.
Outside of like, okay, like there is the group, like having that pinging thing. Okay, we're in this thing. We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
Knowing that my bank statement will have something like that is active and alive and real. Like I am a part of this thing, and here's Austin's checking in on me on Monday afternoons, hoping I have a great week. And I know I'm giving you like shit for it, but like,
oh, that's great.
Like, it's actually really nice to be like, okay, I'll see it and then like pretend and like all of a sudden like log all my food for the day really quick to be like, yeah, see, I did that. Obviously, you just missed it. Like it's that like little reminder of like, hey, I'm still here for you. And then like even just I don't know, like I honestly haven't had much time to have friends. But like I haven't been able to see them like sparingly or whatever, and they haven't said anything good or bad one way or another.
Yeah.
That's okay too, because at the end of the day, I didn't do it for them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yep.
Yeah. So like as much as I wish I had the support and the accountability from all the people that I thought I would.
Yeah.
It was just one more testament to the fact that like I am just as strong as I know that I am.
Yep.
I just kind of had to show it. I had to show it for me. And don't have anybody that have you.
Yep. Yeah. I think, I mean, you got to be your own like parent in a sense. You got to be your own superhero. You got like nobody can do it for you. And it's one of those things too where it's just like, to be honest, like a health and fitness journey, and you know just as well as I do, like entrepreneurship in general, like there's a lot of parallels between like running a business and a successful health and fitness journey, and like being on one. Like it's gonna be lonely sometimes. People aren't gonna fucking understand why you're doing it or what you're doing it for, but those are the exact reasons why we're doing it is because like I don't want to have a lifestyle or I don't want to be like everybody else. Like I don't want to work a 9 to 5. Like I work a fucking like 5 a.m. to fucking like 10
Yeah.
p.m. You know what I mean? Like it's like sorry, what was that?
I was like, we love working 24/7 instead, but
Yeah.
I don't miss like single kids play.
Yeah. I can go on vacation whenever the fuck I want. I just have to work on it when I'm on that vacation a little bit. Like I can do that. There's always gonna be hard. There's always gonna be difficulties. But it's like you get to pick what that is. And the same thing for like health history. It's gonna be lonely at the beginning for a lot of people. It likely will be. And even if you didn't think it was gonna be at the beginning because you had like a gym partner or something like that, and then they might ditch out. They might quit their journey, and then you're on your own. And like for me, like I go to like for me, the only person that gives a shit really about my health and fitness goals other than myself is probably my brother, and he lives on the other side of the fucking country. And it's like, other than that, like, I'm doing it for me. I'm by myself doing it. I go to the gym pretty much. Now that I've got my wife going with me, like she'll go with me like once or twice a week. But it's just like, but other than that, like I'm fucking by myself, and I'm okay with that. You got to be okay with that. You got to have that like the realization that it's like, eventually, if you stick with it long enough, you will kind of find your people if that's what you want to find, but it might take a while, and you just got to be okay with that. That's how it was for entrepreneurship for me. It took me a while. Finally found my fucking people, and go figure, they're all online, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. Same thing with health and fitness. It's like, other than my brother caring about like health and fitness in the same way that I do, like I was like, well, if I can't find those people, I'm just gonna literally make a business out of it and create a fucking community out of it, and and that's I'm gonna fucking build it myself, like kind of thing.
Enough. I love Washington State. I love the Pacific Northwest. My heart belongs in Alaska. It's the best place I ever went to in my whole life, and that's where, like, I was trying to move there like next year, but I own businesses and it's fine.
Yeah.
They don't like just magically go over. When I've talked to like my friends or whatever, like when I have mentioned like, oh well, I'm like I can't do this or this because I'm gonna go do that or whatever it is. I just need you guys to know that I've actually said that, well, all of my people live in like Spokane, Washington or wherever. I Googled it one time. It's not quite close enough to the ocean, so you guys need to like move a little.
Yeah.
But I was like, Hans, we could move there. That's where all my friends are.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll just go to the gym with them.
Yeah, exactly. We do. It's funny. We do have like group workouts and get-togethers and stuff like that we plan. It's fun. It's awesome. I mean, it's one of those things where like I've never really I've never because I've always, other than working out with my brother, he was my gym partner for a long time whenever we were in the same area. But like no, I haven't had that community in a sense for a very long time, and like I'm getting a taste of it too, like in person to a degree, and I'm like I like this. This is nice. Like this is fun. Everybody getting to work out together, joking around, having a good time. Then we go get fucking Chipotle afterwards, and it's fun. And then like the fucking Christmas party. I mean, there's something to say about like a community that a bunch of people can get together and yeah, we can go get a kick-ass workout in the morning and have fun in that. But then we can go out and have a celebration that same night, and because we realize this is a lifestyle and a lifestyle shift, and that you can have fun at the same time. And we had people fly out from Indiana and Michigan and California, and I'm probably forgetting a couple other states. We had like 30 or 40 people show up to this thing, and it was just the second time we've ever ran it. And it was just, I don't know, it was just really cool to like see that kind of like level of impact that the community has. And I think that it can just be such a powerful like safety net and supportive like tool, and like just a hive mind in a sense too. It's just like, but it's also like a reminder like that it's just like I'm in a sense there's nothing special about me. Like we're all special, but like the thing I'm going through right now that like is that I feel like is like only me, like I'm the only one going through this thing. Whoa, like it's like, oh no, like fucking so and so they you know, their kid got them fucking sick too last week, and they're throwing up all over the place, and they can't get any like it's like I don't know. It's just like it just makes it feel like it makes you feel less alone. I feel like in a lot of ways, and
yeah. Yeah, and that's the way that the world is now too. Anyways, a lot of things are online, and if you do it once a year, then you've succeeded.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Yeah, and the Christmas party is a damn good time. Well, I'm gonna have to try and convince you to come out, so we'll see. What?
No need to convince.
Oh, hell yeah, cool. And then so last thing I'll say. So, as far as progress that's been made, like so we already talked about, like we've lost 30 pounds since working together. What are some other just like non-scale victories or non-scale wins that you've had? And then any kind of like final words of advice or like golden nuggets or takeaways that you've gotten that you feel like might benefit somebody else who's about to start their journey or is struggling on their journey or, is wondering if they should.
I don't know if this is everybody. I'm assuming, okay? We all keep a little box of clothes that we love that are too small for us, but we really love them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were even new. And you were like, yeah, but I'll fit this because I'm like, I'll lose like 5 pounds. It's fine. And you've kept it. Imagine the feeling of taking the box out and then them fitting.
Yeah.
But this is one of those, it's just a t-shirt, but I got this t-shirt like 6 years ago and I never got to wear it because I like bought it at this thing. I didn't try it on there because there wasn't a dressing room. I took it home and I literally couldn't get it on. And it is baggy. And it came from the box. And so it had nothing to do with the scale. Like 30 pounds is like nothing. I know people that are like, I saw somebody that I used to know like from years ago and they're like, I've lost 30 pounds. I couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
It looks the same to me.
Yeah.
Like 30 pounds to one person can mean very little and it means an entirely different body.
Yeah.
And so don't worry so much about a number because numbers are liars and a lot of tricks and stupid. But imagine that little box of something that you could actually wear. That feeling right there is pretty special.
Yeah.
And not having to get rid of clothes because they're just too small and fits, and having to buy a new wardrobe every few months because they don't. So like it has nothing to do with the number, but like because my number sometimes would stay the same, but these outfits I couldn't wear anymore.
Yeah.
Just my body decided to hold it differently.
Yeah.
And so a big victory, like even if your scale never changed, if I stayed at my original weight of, it was 199 pounds, I was like slightly panicking. But like if I stayed at 200, but I was like jacked as fuck, like that would have been a great number.
Yeah.
Like it just, that like, don't panic so much about numbers.
Yeah.
Like it's really just to show you kind of like where your scale is at in terms of your personal levels of where I looked more at my fat percentage versus like the actual number, and that was helpful for me to be able to like go, okay, you know what, the scale was up 2 pounds, but it's actually down half of an inch.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're cool with it. It's fine. And like other non-scale things would be, okay, it's going to sound kind of shitty. Like obviously being caught on, I'm a little bit blunt. But I love roller coasters so much, like adrenaline junkie. I think that's also why I'm an entrepreneur. Really like to stay on my toes. And I have people in my family that can't fit on many of the roller coasters, and it really breaks my heart because then I can't do these things with them. Honestly, I wasn't getting too far from not fitting myself.
Yep.
That was a little bit sad because I don't want to miss out on something in my life because of my stupid body.
Yeah.
Like it helped me live the Like if I wanted to go and do this big trip, I want my body to be able to do that. So I'm not going to let it hold me back. I'm going to let it push me forward. I really
I love
like
that.
17-mile hike through Zion National Park. I did like I go to Zion almost every year now just because it's my favorite one. But like if my body cannot get through some of the crevices, like that really fucking sucks. Like so if there's something that you're wanting to do, but your body's gonna hold you back on it, then that's your sign. That's the thing. It's keeping you from living the life that you're actually wanting, whether that is pulling your kid on their sled, or if that is fitting into the roller coaster, or if it's taking, taking that trip or whatever. Like if there's something that's kind of like, if it's holding you back, you're doing something, you got to do something different. Yeah. So the fact that it's not holding me back anymore on a lot of things I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. The only last couple things I really needed to like get better on, like come on body, let's do this, is I used to be able to do like those back bridges, and my daughter's really into gymnastics right now. Like, Mom, do this, because I used to be super into yoga and could do all these really cool poses. And they were that like forever ago, why can't you just do it? And I'm like, because I got a little chunky monkey, that's all.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I cannot bend this stomach in that way right now. Okay. Doesn't do it. Like, I don't have the support system. Like, it was too long since I practiced that. And so, I've been working on my gymnastic moves with my kids. So that's stupid thing. So that, because that's just one more thing to bond with her on. And I don't know, because of my body.
Yeah. I love that. That's, I mean, it's crazy. It's one of those things. Like I love the phrase you use. It's like my body. I don't want my body holding me back from doing the things I love. I want it to be the thing that's like pushing me forward. Like that's, you couldn't say it any better. So cool. And then last little bit, I'm going to have to jump. I'm going to have to bounce here soon, but any last minute, like little words of encouragement to the person that's thinking about starting or has been like, kicking the can down the road? Like, what would you say? What would you say to them? Or like, a year ago, whenever you were first starting off, like, what would you tell that person?
I would just kind of go with the thought process. Sorry, like all the words all at the same time, but not in one sentence. Okay. Listen to the podcast. I highly recommend just listening to that, because Spotify, you can listen to it on there for free, and just start giving yourself knowledge and information. Like if you're not really ready to do a program or whatever, it is just knowledge put out there. There is no commitment. It is not some gimmick. There is not some like hidden like little ingredients that they won't tell you because you didn't sign up for the program. Like, all of these other things. The knowledge is there. The thing that makes it different is that you are asking for help because you can't do it by just listening. The difference is that you are asking for a trainer that has experience in this, and you are getting that customized to you with that information. So if you read that book and you're like, I know all this stuff, but I can't make it happen. That's when you need to go ahead and just make the dive. Is like if you really need that person to do that push, that's literally their job. Like, your friend isn't doing it for you, and you're not trying to ruin that relationship. Hire the person that it's literally their job to help you. Don't take advice from people that aren't where you're trying to go.
Exactly. 100%. That's why I'm like, whenever I've got people that join, they're like, oh, like my mom is always like telling me to do this, or like I'm like, would you trade bodies with your mom right now? Like, fuck no, probably. Like, would you trade places? Like, that's why I'm like, whenever somebody's like, entrepreneurship, they're like, I think that's a crazy idea. I think that's dumb. I don't think you should do that. I'm like, well, you're working a 9 to 5 and barely making ends meet, and you hate your job and you kind of hate your life and all these other things. Like, don't think I'm going to take business advice from you. So, yeah.
So yeah, the biggest thing that I would give is just, I mean, don't take advice from people that aren't where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
If you really need the help, then you should hire the professional. It's the same reason we go to the doctor.
Yeah.
It's all those things is because we clearly need some help sometimes, and that's okay. And then I forgot already.
That's okay. Well, this was filled with so many golden nuggets and takeaways. I think it makes up for it. So
yeah, feel free to like get a bunch of those things written on T-shirts.
Yeah.
Just buy Ellie. Like.
Hell yeah, awesome. Well, guys, I just want to say one last thank you to Ellie for hopping on here and chatting with us and giving us some of her time today to just talk about her journey and what she's been able to accomplish and the ins and outs, and just, I don't know. I feel like there was like a shit ton of mindset, like golden nuggets there. So thank you for coming on. Appreciate you. And yeah, absolutely. And other than that, guys, we will. Oh, yeah, go for it. Sorry, you're cutting out for a second.
But the last thing was your hate you. That was it.
What was it?
Last bit of nugget was they won't hate you. Your trainers don't hate you.
No, yeah.
Fall off the wagon. If everything's a shitstorm, they don't hate you. Don't stop because you think that they hate you.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, now.
Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, guys, that's how we're going to end this episode. Thank you all for listening. And yeah, if you were inspired by this and you're interested, I mean, if you're listening to this, you listen to the podcast probably, but listen to more of episodes. And if you're, wanting to, see results and start your journey, like, just fucking do it. Like, just do it. Send me a message. I'll fucking cheer you on. Maybe we can make something happen. If not, like, just do something. Takes a single fucking moment of courage that you take action upon that can literally completely change the trajectory of your life. Like, it's just, you're one decision away from a completely different life, guys. So, but yeah, other than that, we'll talk to y'all in the next episode. Bye.